Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. Um, Thank you for being here. Welcome new subscribers and welcome returning subs. Lovely to see you and feel your energy. For no reason at all other than I was tapping into the collective energy this morning and I noticed all my upper chakras lighting up and becoming quite active. And that's all I've got to go on. And I followed my guidance to this deck and two cards. And so, no false speech. What is the right speech? Abstaining from lying, from divisive speech, from abusive speech, and from idle chatter. This is called right speech. To speak truthfully is what your heart wants, and to speak in ways that will make you feel bigger and better is what your fictional self constructed by an untrained mind wants. The untrained wants of the mind. Choose wisely. So we're coming into alignment with something, coming into alignment with a higher truth, coming into alignment with our heart and speaking and acting and living through the heart space. Did I say in the last video, I can't remember now, when people show you who they are, trust that. And so what this is calling into that focus is where we make up stories to massage the truth into a more palatable reality. It's where we pretend because because the objective truth might actually be too harsh. And again, this is speaking to Pluto in Aquarius, and it wants to dig up the collective underbelly of pretense. And we're talking about the masculine and feminine in relation to one another within and without. We're talking about relationships and relationship to everything within and everything without. So if we boil that right down and bring it into romance, romantic gesture, I don't know what that is. A romantic gesture. If I do this nice thing, is that slightly manipulative? And so what might be coming into a sharper focus, I don't know how to say this without sounding blunt, and so I'll sound blunt, might be where we've deluded ourselves, where we've avoided a harsher truth, to keep the peace. It's that kind of, and the underlying Buddha card is card number 18, shallow mind. Isn't this interesting where this is going? Shallow mind, to start from the self and try to understand all things is delusion. To let the self be awakened by all things is the ultimate awakening. That's from the Dogen. To let the self be awakened by all things. Yeah. I'm going to come back to Donald Trump. So in his truth, he is divisive, and that's okay. He's labeled as a bigot, and that's okay. What am I feeling about that? And do I avoid how I'm feeling about that by judging that and putting that into a box? Okay. A law of nature says that like attracts like, negative thinking attracts negative results, and optimistic thinking creates peace and harmony. Okay, for me, even that is divisive. And what about a more unilateral acceptance of all things that come to touch spots in us, activate us, put us to sleep, distract us, create consensus? Because once we create consensus, we render into reality that belief system, whether it's religion, astrology, the self-appointed king is real. How, yeah. Oh, what? And the next card is about lust. There's something building here. I'm not rushing to get to the conclusion. And it's coming in on that 34/7. I can't believe this. Right, look. No sensuous misconduct. From lust arises grief. From lust arises fear. For whoever is free from lust, there is no grief, much less fear. Sensuous misconduct is easily created by the erroneous view of an untrained mind about what love is and what love isn't. Oh, this is a big revelation. Right, okay. I'm going to start with those 3 cards. There's a question coming in. What if I don't pander to this ego? What if I don't pander to this ego, to stay in the romantic bubble, to stay in the delusion that this thing is. But Chrissy, we're accepting everything. And so we let it in, and we let it map to the part of us that recognizes it. So this is recalibration, reconciliation. We're in that 9 energy. This is where we reconcile something that might be unpalatable into reusable energy. That's all it is. It's just reusable energy. There's something unpalatable might be pulling your energy as the egoic mind tries to make it right or wrong, and in the adherence to the right or wrong might have to concoct a certain mythology to make it pathologically acceptable. Wow, I've never really dug these cards, but I'm digging these cards today. I am drawn. I'm actually drawn. Where are you drawn, Chrissy? Well, I'll tell you. Hold the phone. I'm going to go to the Black Moon Astrology. But that's counterintuitive. Astrology is just a collective thought. Yes, it is. And we make it into an archetype, and the archetype renders into reality. Aye. Spirit showing off. Right, Neptune. Is that kind of dreamy fog, mist, collusion. And in the sacrifice of that, wow, that's lovely. So as I'm looking through that, through the fog, sitting right behind the fog is the King of Swords. And he's kind of sat there in all his calmness, going, well, I understand your story, but what's the evidence? That's really been coming through, I think, since Christmas. is a new question is forming about, I hear your story, what's the evidence? What proves that story to be real? And so we have Neptune and the sacrifice. And Neptune is going to move into Aries, bringing it into, because it will alter Neptune's expression and it will alter the Aryan expression. So maybe Aries and Neptune together will cause a new calibration, which brings, I'm avoiding the word reality, I'm avoiding the word truth. Which bring the facts into sharper focus. And here we begin to tear down the tower of our own illusion, where we've believed this is good for me, this is lovely, da 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 da. Not recognizing our own mythology. Our own mythology can literally be in our blind spot. So there's no good, bad here, no right, wrong. It's about realizing, bringing the shadow up to the light to realize it. So sacrificing the mythology, sacrificing mythology. The energy's still with me, so I'm just going to plow through and I'll know when it clears. It's heart and solar plexus working together. 11:11. Heart and solar plexus working together. Underlying energy is first house and the body. Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, let's just have a look at this underlying story. So first house in the body speaks to somatic response. And what does my body say about that? What does my animal instinct say about that? And we have Capricorn, inverted, I use. Can I keep using this mythology that I'm telling myself? Or is there some space for some analysis to bring a sharper something into focus that I might not want to see? And it might be about desires. Okay, and those three, wait. And those three cards that came out here begin with Mars, which I think is about to move into Cancer. So that might address father. Cancer is family, so it's parenthood. It tends to lean towards mother, but Mars in Cancer it's going to bring out that masculine energy. Aquarius, I just know. So we have earth and fire on the table. And earth and fire can bake as hard as clay. And so we take our time in dissolving what has set itself into clay and become an immovable truth. And become a temple, actually. I'm seeing a temple. My heart is pounding. So Mars is in. Mars and fire. There's cards all over the flipping table. What's this? Okay, so first house, the body. So look at this energy coming in. Fire with desire, Mars with force, and solar eclipse. So let's speak to the clay. Let's speak to the formed clay. And for this, I'm going to go to the wild unknown archetypes. Let's speak to the fire and the formed clay. Wow. The formed clay could literally be the body as well. The body is the container. I'm gonna put those. Yeah, I'm gonna put them there. Tell me about the formed clay, mythology, and analysis. Formed clay, mythology, and analysis. Cards. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Right. Let's just. I feel the need to bend them. They feel really stiff. Go again. Wow. You'll see the dead end in the evidence of what you're pursuing. Like a cheeky question would be, yeah, and how's that working out for you? Look in the mirror and ask yourself that question. Yeah, how's that working out for you? Wow. How's that working out for you? Is it feeding your soul? Has it been feeding your soul? Are you becoming enriched? Or is it a mythology? I think it's because these cards are quite new that they're not threshold. And all right, ignore what I just said. And I need to look this up because I don't know what this means. Thanatos takes me to a Marvel film. I'm trying to find the words for what I'm seeing. That which we dare not step up to, step forward to, step into the focus of. The fault line doesn't really need explaining. I think that's going to come into contrast to show us faulty thinking, let's say. The empty room in which we re envision the structure. So we can bring the blueprint in, the feminine, into the structure, the masculine, cross the threshold, and rebirth. Big message of that is everything's a choice. So we can keep living in the faulty mind, or we can go right within to face the thing we dare not face. And I'm going to read Thanatos. Is it is tempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation. But the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed by Thanatos as it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually, with more compassion, with more wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. Did you notice that the name changed from Thanatos to Thanatos? I'm just noticing that because the feel shifts with every word. Face the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies initiation into the underworld. What I'm seeing is a collective migration across the desert into the underworld to create a new tipping point of raising the shadow into the light, of making from that womb space, making from that dark feminine fecundity, terrifying fecundity. It looks like it does look like a migration. I just got the word exodus there. Like a gathering in number of, in literal terms, a gathering of number to go in and do the shadow work. Wow. Does that answer the clay, fire, analyze? Does that answer the, can't remember what it was. Does that answer the question? We'll soon find out. I'm going to start wrapping this up now. I have to get going. Let's have a couple of final cards, please. I think this is about it's beautiful. What I'm being shown is the urn or the vessel that we may have created in that earth and fire. I'm going to bring water in there because I'm logical to bake that clay. and we've baked it hard. And we've put our stuff in it, and our mythology in it, and our secrets and our love and in there. And when we bury clay, when we bury pot, can it just dissolve in the release of a container of some kind? Can it just release? Okay, let's start wrapping this up. It's beautiful. Well, gosh. I'm going to mention this card because it's the face you put on is part of the mythology. And now I'm going to put a deleting but in there because these three cards and so graduating in the letting go, in the burying of the pot, the graduating into extraordinary uniqueness, one of a kind. Look, the mask is off. Does she show all of herself? I think that came through in the last reading. Can she show all of herself now as she graduates into that one of a kind with blind faith, knowing that you don't know everything, spotting when you hang an outcome onto something, onto a seed that hasn't even cracked yet. We do this a lot in intimate relationships, wanting to know the outcome, wanting to know the whole timeline before the first meeting, before the first deep chat. And so the insecurity in us seeks the guarantee before the adventure even begins. And so the blind faith is, again, it comes back to play. And this is all gone. That's what needed to come through. Oh, this is heaven. I really have to go. I could just carry on. This is one of my favorite things to do in the world. I love you guys. Take care. Please drop me a like and share and subscribe. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye.